Hello and welcome to today's Greek on our journey through Acts 10. We're trying to do verses 21 through 29 today, I believe. So Cornelius received a vision, and then Peter received a vision, and now ding dong, the men are downstairs, the Gentiles, and Peter is now going to interact with them. So, and having gone down, this is a aorist participle of katabino. Bah, it's bino. It's the aorist of bino. Bah, humbug. Okay, Peter, having gone down to the men, he said, aping an aorist, behold, direct quote, right, capital letter, behold, I am whom you are seeking. Da, 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 I am the one you're looking for. What is, I have to stick an is in there, what is the cause, what is the reason on account of which you are present? Question mark. Sounds awfully formal, doesn't it? Okay, but it was in Aramaic. Actually, it might have been in Greek. Peter might have had a Greek conversation. Verse 22. And they said, remember, in front of men and de, the article can mean they, or he or she. And they said, aping another aorist, notice the difference between these two is this one succumbed to peer pressure. Why do all the other aorists get a sigma alpha? I want an alpha too. This is the normal. I don't need an alpha. I'm my own man. I'm my own apen. I'm my own ape. Anyway, sometimes aorists, second aorists, irregular aorists, sometimes they, because of, they take the vowel of the sigma alpha of the normal aorist. Interesting, it's inconsistent, but it just shows that it's equally allowable. I don't know why. I don't know why he uses a pen here and a pon here, although this is plural, I will say that. This is the plural and this is singular, although the unalpha'd version would be apone with an omicron. Anyway, who knew? Interesting. Okay, Cornelius. Okay, so here they're going to say, and they said, Captain Cornelius, from Planet of the Apes. No, Cornelius. I wonder if they named him after him. He's a general, isn't he? Or no, he's a scientist. Never mind. Okay, Cornelius, centurion, a man righteous and fearing God, and being witnessed by all the nation of the Jews. Okay, the Jews are an ethnos. All the people of the Jews, not nations in the way we think of nations, of course. What about this present passive participle? Present. Well, fearing, himself fearing. It might be middle. Phobeomai. No, it's deponent. Okay. It was revealed by a holy angel, by an angel holy, aorist passive. There's the augment krematidzo. It was revealed, or God revealed. Two, this is a aorist infinitive, aorist middle infinitive. C is the key to hidden sigma, sigma alpha, it's aorist. St is middle or passive, I is infinitive. To send for you into the house of him, that is Cornelius, and to hear, and I'm going to have to take it off so I can see it, and to hear, aorist infinitive, words from you. Okay, good. So far, so good. Therefore, having called them in, he hosted. He entertained them. He lodged them, although it's not his house. Did you ask Simon the Tanner before you invited them in, Peter? Anyway, okay. Verse 23 continues, but probably a new paragraph. What's his name? Stephanus, who put the verses messed up here, probably. He was riding horseback and the horse jumped. Probably not. Okay. And on the morrow, having arisen, aorist participle, he went out with them, and certain of the brothers, the from Joppa brothers, this is a thing Greek can do, the brothers, the from Joppa brothers, Joppa the hut. No, that's not right. Okay, so they went with him. They went together with him. Dative of accompaniment. Okay, this is aorist. Elf is the aorist of Erchomai. Verse 24. And on the morrow, because it takes at least 2 days to get there, 20 miles a day, 36 miles, it's going to take 2 days. They went into Caesarea, and the Cornelius was expecting. He was awaiting, periphrastic, form of the verb to be, plus a participle, present active participle, imperfect of ami. Cornelius was awaiting them, having called together, kaleo, call, soon, together, aorist, sigma alpha, I don't know if this is deponent, but the men are passive or middle. So I'm not sure why. It could be soon kaleomai. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, a lot of times a middle just ends up pretty much like an active anyway. Having called together the kinsmen of him and the necessary friends. I love this expression, close friends. I don't want to overread it because that's what we do, isn't it? This is what Bible people do. We overread the Greek. But it is true, isn't it? There are friends that are non-essential and there are friends that are essential. The non-essential friends, we're not too worried if they didn't come. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, but the essential friends, the necessary friends, verse 25. And as it came to pass, Peter to enter in. Interesting, this usually expresses a result. And as it came to pass with the result that Peter entered in, that would be a bad translation. So I'm just going to say, and as it came to pass that Peter entered in, the subject of an infinitive is accusative. This is an infinitive. Eris, because the elf of Erchomai. Okay, we continue. Having met him, another aorist participle, sigma alpha, aorist. Cornelius, having fallen upon the feet, he bowed down. This is also the word for worship, as I've mentioned. This is aorist. It's the irregular aorist of pipto. Pipto through. Okay, I'm getting a little carried away here. By the way, I've mentioned in the podcast that this word for worship is it's a broad word, to bow down. You bow down before kings and rulers and people of higher authority. So just because Cornelius bows down before Peter doesn't necessarily mean he thinks Peter's a god. It does mean that he thinks that Peter is of much higher authority than he has. But so probably I wouldn't translate it worship here. It's he bowed down. Verse 26. But Peter raised him up, saying, "Rise," the aorist imperative, second singular, and rise, I also, myself, when autos is in the nominative, it intensifies the subject. Actually, this is mega intensified because me means I am a man. I am a anthropos me means I am a man all by itself. So myself. I mean, he's really emphasizing me. This guy right here, me, Mr. Number One here. I'm just a guy. Both of these words are grammatically unnecessary. They are emphasis. Okay, verse 27. And talking together with him, he entered in. Oh, by the way, this is the denial formula. I mentioned it a little bit in the podcast. And talking together with him, he entered, and he finds, having been gathered together, many having been gathered together. He finds many having been gathered together. This is the perfect participle of sun Erchomai, Alelutha. Erchomai is weird. It's deponent in the present, Erchomai. In the future, it's elusomai, which doesn't look anything like Erchomai. It's like go and went. Why do these look so different? Because languages are just that way. Erchomai is the present, elusomai is the future, deponent in the future. Eilthon suddenly decides to be normal. It's not deponent in the aorist. Eilthon, eilth, and then Alelutha, it's not deponent in the perfect either, but it doesn't have the kappa, Alelutha. It's just a weird word. It has 4 principal parts instead of 6, and all of them are weird. Okay, so them having gathered together, verse 28, and he said to them, y'all, again, unnecessary, but it gives emphasis, you guys right here, you know that, I think host probably comes out something like at, unlawful it is for a man Jewish to come together, to bind together with, or to come to a foreigner. Okay, I rant a little in the podcast about this. Peter thinks the narrative world of Acts wants us to believe that Peter is quite convinced that he is doing something that violates the book of Leviticus. This is his fundamentalist radar is going off. I'm violating. I'm not keeping the absolute. Problem. Don't think for 1 second that what Acts is saying here isn't deeply problematic or troubling in the sense that Peter thinks that he is, God told him. It's kind of like, is good because God says so, or does God say so because it's good? In this case, Peter would say, good is good because God says so, because the scriptures tell me not to do this. The scriptures say I'm sinning right now, but God told me to do it, so I guess I'm not. This is a radical. This is deeply radical, and we don't see it because it's familiar to us. Well, this, pick an issue that's sensitive today and apply the same rule here. Well, God told me to divorce, or God told me to do whatever. God told me to have a woman pastor. No, I don't think that violates any scripture. But anyway, we don't feel it, but this is deeply, deeply, radically controversial here, in my opinion. And God showed to me, nothing common or unclean to say a man, for a man not to call anything common. This actually, notice this doesn't add that I have cleansed. This sounds more like the Apostle Paul, who says there's nothing unclean in and of itself. But if you think it's unclean, then it's unclean. This is nominalist territory. This is not Plato. This is not Aristotle. This is nominalism. This is that there's no intrinsic uncleanness particularly to Gentiles here. Verse 29. Therefore, also without questioning, I went, having been sent for. This theta epsilon indicates it's an aorist passive. And the face, it's an aorist passive participle, nominative masculine singular. I, having been sent for, came. Therefore, I ask, punphanomai, I ask, for what reason? Logos here means reason. For what reason have you sent for me? C is the key to hidden sigma, sigma alpha. So this is aorist. I don't know if this word is deponent, metapempomai. If it's not deponent, then it's middle. Why have you sent for me? Okay, lots of verses today, long verses today, but we've made it 2 more days and we'll be done with Acts chapter 10 in Greek.